Okay, how's it going? LinkedIn and the world. These are your field notes for today. I have a special one for you. First of all, this is Mr. Ati Popola.
Hi, it's great to be here. Hi, man. Thanks for having me.
This is not a talk show. We're just having some fun right now.
I know.
So we're out here at the IVRHA, the event at the Moffitt Cancer Center. But you have something special here. So this is the Samsung Galaxy XR device. Okay, it's no controller. And there's a very special reason why I wanted to sit down with Ati and talk about this thing. And the reason is because Ati just happens to be a Google optics engineer who worked on this device.
Amazing. Yeah, it's a pride of mine to have worked on this. These are definitely the future. Love it. Love it.
All right, so let's just do some basics. Like what it makes this different. And I'm just going to show the lenses. That's what you work on, right? You work on the lenses and the camera?
And then the front covers. Yeah.
Right, and then the front. Right, so what makes this different from any of the other headsets that are out there right now?
Well, this is the GalaxyXR, and it's just super sleek, super light, wonderful build and look and feel. And I think this is definitely the future. What makes this really special is for its price point, right? It packs a punch, right? It has so many sensors on here, and it has the X factor, which is your AI. It has your AI Gemini, always on live conversational assistant, and that really just sets this apart from any other headsets.
Yeah, I totally got to try it. It's cool. You put it on and you pinch and Gemini opens, and then I can circle things like this. It's just a pinch and circle.
Yeah.
And then there was a doctor standing in front of me and he had a white coat on, and I circled him, and then Amazon showed me where I could buy his coat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it has functions like that. It's super easy to use, and it has the, Android, Samsung, a look and feel to the UI, which makes it really familiar. Hand tracking, it has eye tracking. It's super awesome. Yeah, this is.
Let's get a little techie.
Yeah.
Let's get a little techie for these guys. How is development for this different? What should developers be thinking about when building for something like this? And I did a video a little while ago, and you saw it, right? Where I was in the airport, and I was like, no more controllers. Developers need to think about how that impacts what they're going to be creating and how you engage immersively if the future of technology is hands-free.
Yeah.
So what do you think developers need to think about when building for a device? You said the words Android XR. I presume that's also different.
That's totally different, yeah. So I think developers are at a very, very interesting moment right now where they have a device that is super high-tech, right? Has a lot of technology in its home factor and has about 3 or 4, depending on how you look at it, modes of interacting with the device, right? It has a touchpad. It has hand tracking. You can use controllers and you can just control with your voice as well. It has eye tracking as well. And what this unlocks essentially is a more immersive and more comprehensive analytical ways of looking at your engagement or interactions in the XR space. So yeah, I think that sets it apart from the other devices. They're just ways of actually tracking your experiences and actually getting more data.
That's very interesting because at Arbor, we're working on this thing called the Arbor Insights platform, and it's all about tracking and analytics, and it allows us to help customers get more ROI out of the devices that they're deploying because they can see more, pull more into their dashboard of how are their users using it and what are they learning from them so they can proof their XR deployments out, right?
Bottlenecks as well, where they're spending more time.
And where they're spending more time. That's a great point. So it's really interesting, I guess, if we keep pushing it back to like the developer community and what do they need to know about this, is thinking about probably nailing down exactly what these different input methods are and probably applying almost like a SWOT, right? Like a little SWOT analysis on each. That's a marketing term.
And
I
think it develops our friend, weaknesses, opportunities, threats,
and threats.
Yeah.
maybe not a SWOT, but like going through each section of your platform and deciding, could this be done better if we tracked it in the eyes?
In the eyes.
Are we even, does our platform already do something, but we're not tracking the eyes? And can that come back to a dashboard so that way we can learn where are our learners focusing their attention? Are they using their hand? Are their hands by their sides when they're supposed to be engaged with the immersive experience?
Eyes, smile, and frown, by the way.
How does it do that?
Yep, there's cameras everywhere. Try to give you
Like in here?
in here. Yeah,
Can I see them?
yeah. There's all lined up around the bottom are all.
Does this plate come off?
Camera. These are light shields as well. This just snap out and snap back in.
Nice.
Even nifty, yeah. Just to keep the light out.
I'm gonna show them this.
Yeah,
So,
go for it. Yeah.
so I'm gonna get in. Ta-da! And so there are cameras here pointing at the mouth and
And all of that, yes, yes.
Wow.
And there are microphones out there and speakers as well.
what was the hardest thing about the hardest thing is getting this back on. Huh?
I know right now.
What was the hardest thing about working on this? Speak up, I'll let you do it. You're the brother.
So I'm just gonna snap this back in here.
What was one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in working on this device?
Yeah, so working on this device was one of the greatest honors of my life because I feel like this is a transformating device for the world right now. And I worked with the smartest people you can ever think of to realize this, even though I just work on a smidget of this. But I think that getting all that compute, getting the high resolution lenses on here, and getting all of that with the ability to call on your conversational multimodal AI at once to tie all these experiences together is close to much, in my opinion.
Okay. I love that. And I also love how happy and excited you are to have just like the amount of respect you have for what went into this is so cool. Okay, so why is this the future? I mean, and I ask you that. It sounds like that might be an obvious question because look at all the technology that is in this, but we also have to think about scale and deployment and usage. So, a company can make a very flashy device, and that flashy device can tank, like the HoloLens, right? Which was a very flashy, very interesting device that did a lot of the stuff you're talking about.
No names.
Why is this? Why is this different? I don't mind calling it out the HoloLens. You missed the mark. You got close.
Yeah.
Why is this different?
So I think Google is such an experienced company in landing devices at such scale, right? They've excelled in the past, running all sorts of devices with the operating systems, Android. So essentially what they're capable of doing here is doing what they did with the phones and Android, but on the XR device. Basically, the Android XR is the Android XR. And so we're trying to replicate exactly what the success of the phone. And we know how many millions of phones we have out there. Same thing here. It's going to take a while, but I think this is such an amazing achievement in less than just a few years, to come up with this 0-1 here. And I think in terms of scaling and in terms of impact out there in the world, you can just go to all sorts of industries and think of, potentials and opportunities of where use cases with this loaded technology can be deployed. It's really an infinite canvas. But
as a non-developer, I'm going to ask the silly question: why Android XR? Why is that special?
so it's a unified platform, Android XR, and think from the ground up. I believe that development platforms such as Unity, were carried along and brought along during the development. So if you develop for Unity or some of all these engines, you can easily just run your applications and your programs on this operating system right off the bat. Yeah, with very minimal onboarding, and API set up on all of that. Certainly not a walled garden, certainly not all these protocols and extremely difficult methods of getting that interoperability, pardon my governor there, is or has been at the forefront of development. And during the start of this, they just want to get developers developing for Android XR. So it's a start, it's at the beginning, but I feel like the future is so bright and folks should definitely get ahead of the curve right now.
let's talk about that. Just for last question, because I don't want to make this the longest, mini interview ever. Over the last month, big shifts happened in XR, and someone stepped out of the game a little bit, and everyone was like, "VR is dead." But you just said that the future is bright. So, is VR dead? Is mixed reality? Is XR dead?
MR is not dead. I call it mixed reality because VR and mixed reality as other, it's to be culture. So I like calling it mixed reality and extended reality because there's more layers to that. Definitely not dead. Each of these buckets in the augmented virtual reality continuum have their use cases and have where they actually shine, right? So totally not dead, different use cases. Find your niche. If it's enterprise, prosumer, consumer, entertainment, productivity or training, definitely not dead. I think there's resources just been moved around, at the different levels. It's an exciting time. Let's not over sensationalize the headlines of it being dead also.
All right. I don't know if you can say this, and it's okay if you can't. Okay. But we were talking about earlier how, when Meta did this big shift and they reduced the workforce, they still have 13,000 people working. So many people in Reality Labs
Working on stuff, right?
The question I have for you is, and I already said last question, so maybe I'll try to end it here. Okay. So people can understand what a small team can do. How big was the team that worked on this?
I don't know the exact numbers, but amazing, incredible, heroic efforts to get this out. Really small team. I can give the exact numbers. Definitely small team. I think the numbers are built. Yeah, definitely.
Is it less than 10,000?
Probably way less than that. Yeah, probably way less.
Like less than 100 people?
I didn't have the exact numbers. I know the numbers. Hundreds, maybe.
Hundreds of people.
Hundreds,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's incredible. Still, it's still incredible. All right, look. Thank you so much, man.
Amazing.
For your chatting this out with me. Is there anything that you want to tell people about approaching XR and a device like this as they're building, as they're, creating their own products?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, this device sits nicely between the cost on a premium device like the Apple Vision Pro and the Meta Quest 3, right? It has a lot of specs that rival, if not are better than the Apple Vision Pro. And that's great because it's a positively competitive space. I'm not throwing any vendor down. But the thing is that with the Android operating system, Android XR tries to welcome all developers, standalone developers, large-scale developers to build for this platform, right? So I encourage developers to definitely it's a low-hanging fruit. Pick it up, play around with it, and build, and let's create the future together.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can I take a look at this real quick?
Definitely, please.
The last thing I want to say to everybody is think about what your fleets might look like with something like this, because I think of a device like this as precision. And I think that the Apple Vision Pro was the one that kind of filled that spot for me for a little while.
Yeah.
But I tried this thing out, and that's what I think. I think of precision. All right, man. Hey, thank you so much, dude.
Thanks for having me.
That was fun.
Thank you so much. Awesome. See you guys.